Good morning, everybody. So S&P 500 is pretty much battling with a 49.50, and if we just get this previous high in at 49.34, and then I'm going to just add 49.50 as close as we can to around about there. That's 49.55, a little bit more. 49.52, 49.50. Okay, so just going to lock that level in, and you'll see now the significance. It is a round number, and I think the important thing here is pay attention to the oscillators. They have crossed over, they are pointing down. One of them is below the 80, second one looks like it's heading below the 80. So big red bar, big inside bar with a rejection, but basically just going nowhere, completely sideways. No real direction yesterday. Typical for a Monday, although the Dow Jones did go against what I was thinking. We'll get to that in that video. But drilling down to the time frames, have a look at the 3 hour. We're starting to separate. We've crossed over below the 80. So the oscillators are pointing down, indicating we should be looking for more. But look at this massive pin bar here. And we did get above it, but only to reject it as well. The key thing at the moment is a series of lower highs. So if I draw my level or my diagonal like that, previous high of last week, current high of this week, that is lower, and then you've got this tail which basically turned in the middle of nowhere. If you look left, oh, I lie, picking up this pin bar here at 49.17. So those are key levels. Oscillator's not really offering anything, to be honest, and this is barbed wire. If you drill down to the hour, you're going to see the confusion even clearer. You can see big down, big up, big down. We opened around 49.50. We battled above it, but really didn't get going. So at the moment, look at the oscillators, absolutely nothing here. We are flat in the middle, ranging at the moment. I suppose that's the best way to look at it. And we do have 49.34, which is a key level on some higher time frames, and that hasn't really been tested. This pin bar going at the close yesterday was probably the closest you're going to get there. Now don't forget to hit that like button, and we'll see if there's any opportunities here. So to be honest, I would have been looking for a rejection of either 49.50 or this area here at 49.44. We did break through it quite strongly, and then came back to test, but then we gapped above it and then just mucked around here before coming back into this area. Look at the oscillators all over the place, no real direction. So for us to even consider looking for longs at this elevated space, I'd want to see us clear 49.50, come back, test it, build a base on it, and then look for that long. And looking for shorts at the moment is going to be a little bit difficult, to be honest. So most of the day was just sideways, apart from the squirt down, squirt back up into the zone. So I suspect we are waiting for something again. Not so sure what we're waiting for, but there's just so much going on in the world that it could be oil, it could be a war, it could be the Feds. I think most of the biggish earnings are done, so there may be a little bit more coming from the earnings perspective, but we're confused. And the thing is that we're at such a elevated price, and as with anything, if you're a wine drinker and your wine price is going up and up and up and up, it gets to a point where you say it's too expensive, I'm not buying anymore. And that is kind of what you see here. So the market is looking at this and saying, well, it's 49.50, that's expensive, I'm not buying anymore. So yeah, barbed wire, confusion. I'd much prefer a much deeper pullback, to be honest, and I've said this a couple of times. And the area that I'm looking for ideally would be 4800, so 4821, 4800. That would be the ideal pullback. If you look at this on the weekly, have a look at the strong move up since sort of middle of September, October. So from October we've just been one-way traffic, just green, just one red bar going into the close of the year as profit taking happening, and then January has just been one-way traffic. Look at the oscillators though, we are so far overbought. I'm very reluctant just to jump in long at the moment, and you can't really jump in short. There's no call for a short just yet, but I feel it. There is definitely going to be something, and is this the start? So often when you see a big move down and then a move up forming a pin bar, let's just get where we can see that decently. So you can see, red, and then sometimes, that's seen as a hanging man, although we did break above it. So I won't read too much into that. But sellers are up here, buyers are here. So this is kind of the zone that we're looking at. It's between 49.50 and 49.17. Big zone to be caught in as well. I'm very reluctant to be jumping in long. That's one thing for sure. And shorts at the moment, we're going to need some structure. So basically, this is the most logical level for me, 49.34. Although, if we get a decent rejection of 49.50, it's going to be, the moving average is still going to be flat. So I don't trust that at all. So I'd rather see 49.34. I think that's probably the closest bet. I'd want to see price move down, come back and reject a level. So in other words, I'm looking for the move that we got started yesterday, but then I'm looking for a rejection off a level. You see there was an attempt here, but we got going, and your entry would have been on the first bar that closed below it here anyway. So this for me is sit on hands at the moment until we get a clear break. Any break to the upside I'm going to take with a huge tub of salt and pretty much ignore it. I don't think I want to be chasing longs at the moment. This is really starting to look like we have a short-term top in place. So what could happen is we could actually just go into a range, or we could just drift lower a bit, sort of a gentle drift lower into a sort of a wedge format, or alternatively it could be a fairly steep pullback to come and test some structure lower down. Now the structure is so far away, and you can see the significance of 49.30. See how we've consolidated there and there, and nothing else below that, but we're going to have to break below that and come back and test it for me to even consider this. Then the last thing before we leave, that is a triangle or a wedge. Triangle, wedge, descending triangle, doesn't matter, it's a consolidation pattern. So we can continue between these levels for a little while before breaking out one way or the other. So that's kind of my view at the moment. I'm going to be sitting very tight until we get some decent structure. And the break below the 49.34 is going to have to come down, come back and test. And if you look carefully, that is the apex of the triangle. So break down, come and test 49.17, pull back, and then come back to the apex of the triangle and reject this 49.34. That is a decent area for the short. But I'd want to see the move past and the pullback before even considering that. So anyway, it is sit on hands until we get some structure that makes sense. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers for now.